Brad, how are you? Can you hear me? Brad.
Hey, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Trying to get my video turned on here.
I posted it last minute again. Hopefully, I don't know how many people are working. I got an interesting guy going on here that I spoke to this morning, and well, you'll see when he comes on. Well, hopefully, he joins it. Well, how was the New Year?
It was good. It was good. Uneventful. We played some new games with the kids, and I didn't think it was going to be that fun, but actually, you take painter's tape. You know the fat painter's tape.
Yeah.
You make a tic-tac-toe board on the table, and you play tic-tac-toe flip cup. And each cup, you get 12 cups, X's and O's. So you're flipping your cup, and you have your O's. Yeah, then you can lay your spot down, and then your opponent can take your spot and stack it. So you get 12 cups, and it's pretty intense with kids.
I'm gonna look that up. What was it on YouTube?
I don't know. We were at a friend's house, and they're like, "You guys want to play tic-tac-toe flip cup?" I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." The kids are all about it.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Hi, Prasaath.
Hey, Dominic.
How are
Hi,
ya?
everybody.
Well, I'm gonna give
Okay.
people a few minutes just because I posted it last minute again, and I think the holidays still. A lot of people text me like, "Hey, I might not be able to make it." I don't care because we're gonna record it, put it on YouTube, and they can watch it from there.
Sounds good. Let's spread the love.
Yeah, this is who I was talking about, Brad. This is who I just chatted with him from our Facebook group.
Nice. Hey, Brad.
He
Nice
knows
meeting you.
he knows his tech stacks. I'll tell you that.
All right.
I try.
Yeah, most people don't. Um, but yeah, for Seth, I'll probably need a few of those seats after this.
Sounds good.
Hey, Brent. You hear me? Can you hear me? You're on mute.
Your
You're on
headset's
mute.
your
You're
Yeah.
on
headset's
mute.
blue light.
Ah.
There we go. Guys, I'm almost a boomer. So you have to kind of give me a slack.
Yeah, you are.
Dom, buddy, huge congrats on that game yesterday.
Crazy, huh? My
Oh my
buddy's like,
God.
"Forget about it." And I go, Ohio State's going to take it. He goes, "How do you know?" I go, "Because watch how the lines move in Vegas. Simple.
Oh.
Just watch the lines. That's all you got to do."
Yep.
So, Brent, I know you got a lot of tech too. So I met Prasaath this morning. Am I saying it right?
Prasaath.
Prasaath. And he's from a Facebook group. And I was like, hey, jump on and share some of the tech that you're using. Because I know a lot of you guys are using some Clay, Meg, Zapier. But he showed me some other ones too that I wrote down. They'll let them go over today. I know still the holidays, so most people are still checked out. But we're gonna record this, and then a lot of people said, "Hey, send it to me when you're done." But it's on YouTube anyways, so.
Excellent. Hey, nice meeting you, Brent.
Me and you.
Let's just wait two more minutes.
And nice to meet you, Brad. Are you typically in this one?
I met Dominic a couple weeks ago, and he suggested that I check out these links. I developed something with Apollo that he said he might be interested in. Some of the other recruiters might be interested in checking it out. So hopefully learn some tips and tricks that you guys are using, so I could start using those tricks for myself to my next career.
Oh, right on. I've been in
Yeah.
it for about a couple of months now. Always good info.
Where are you based out of?
Seattle.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Good place.
You're in Seattle too?
I'm based in New Jersey.
Oh, whereabouts?
You know Chatham?
Chatham?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm north of you. I'm in Sussex County.
Ah, nice. Modest.
Right down the street.
Yeah, probably 30-minute drive, I think, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Down 10, 46, or 287? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I record this real quick. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Great. We're just gonna start. I've posted. Let me make sure this records it. Does anybody else have a recorder in here just in case? Brent, you do?
I've got one. Mine is with Quill. I don't know if it does videos or whatnot. I'm showing yours is taking notes.
Yeah, but I had an issue last time, so I don't know why, but we'll let it go.
Your
Let's see if this
Fathom
works.
says it's still recording. I'm assuming it's not.
Yeah, but last time the same thing said it, and then when I went to go pull it up for some reason, it didn't show the video. I'm not sure why, but all right, Prasaath, do you want to introduce yourself and just let these guys know? We'll post the YouTube video after. If anyone joins, I'll send them the whole video.
Sounds good. So happy New Year, everyone. My name is Prasad. I'm based out of New Jersey. 20 plus years of staffing, couple of years in SaaS sales these days. I started off as an agency recruiter, ran like multi-million dollar agency portfolios for a staffing company based out of New York, New Jersey area, built their offshore centers, built it to 100 plus recruiters. We ended up being the top vendors between Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, UBS. We've been at least the number one vendor at some point of time in my life when I led these accounts. The past couple of years, I left agency recruiting. I joined NBC Universal as a corporate recruiter. And once I left there, I made a switch out of recruiting, moved to the go-to-market space. So the past couple of years, I've been helping some neobanks, fintechs, SaaS startups uh, with go-to-market. Pretty much with all I've learned in the staffing business, everything is about outreach, connecting, making relationships, partnerships. And at the moment, I'm looking for my next opportunity. Anyone, mostly founder-led sales is my area of interest. If any founders are looking for help with early client acquisitions, I'm looking to partner up with them and get to ramp up some client acquisitions. So that's a little bit about
Perfect.
me.
Perfect. If you wanted to share some of the tools that you're using, I know I was talking to Zach this morning, and I was like, I got to cut down some of my tech stack. I'm spending way too much money. But if you want to share what worked for you on the BD side, and that's what this call is about. So
Okay, absolutely, yeah. I'm big on automation. These days, big on AI as well. I'm an agency license holder for almost all of the major LinkedIn automation platforms that's available. I'm a big proponent of HeyReach. I'm also an agency owner of Log Machine, Wallaxy, and Dripify. Most of Wallaxy is from the AppSumo LTD I got a while back. Um, I would say my early days of automations have all been like scrapping emails, putting them through some kind of a mailing platform, and trying to manually find those people on LinkedIn. These days, I would say the short form answer for the automation tools that I use is for data scrapping, I use Apollo or some kind of an Apollo scraper tools that I have. Rapid API for my backend scrapping organically to scrap without exposing my LinkedIn cookies. Um, Enrichments using various platforms like Contact Out, Seek Out. I also use amplify for enrichment of my leads. I also am a big buyer of LinkedIn leads from various sellers and try to use it diligently. These are all gray areas where you don't want to get exposed, with the wrong kind of outreaches. Um, in the AI world, I use quite a bit of AI tools for mainly personalization. Um, so Clay is a big piece of how I use it for personalizing my outreaches, um, mainly using a company base, a person based Google search, LinkedIn search, blog searches. I'm trying to extract one or two liners about the company data as well as a person's data. Um, and all of my outreaches generally have one line of personalization lines. Um, so that's part of the spin tags that I use both on LinkedIn connects, emails. Um, I'm just about getting into the WhatsApp automation space, connected with groups. On LinkedIn, I primarily use engagement, which is I don't know how many of you are familiar with tools like HeyReach or La Growth Machine, but it lets you orchestrate as many as maybe 7 to 8 touch points to the same customer that you are trying to reach. Um, I can explain more in detail if somebody wants to know, but that's exactly where I would say is my secret sauce is trying to build some kind of subconscious um, personalization with the contact that you're trying to reach. So by the time you send out either a connect request, email or email, they seem to think that they know you by then, either by ways of your content or by ways of you trying to like their post and things like that. I have a very high rate of acceptance as well as my email replies. Even if it's a no, it's absolutely fine. Um, so so I was just explaining to Dominic, one of the tools that I've recently found, I've found that, you know, I would say almost user friendly to a point where you don't really need to know anything. You just plug in just like a regular person does using natural language queries. It gives you all the data you want, and that is Gumloop. So I've used Gumloop, replays almost all of my tech stack to a point where I have enough amount of data for emails and LinkedIn outreaches, all of it from Gumloop these days. I'm trying to build something on my own, something like Gumloop, which will do a AI search on natural language query, something like find me Python developers open to work in the New York area. So if you put this query, it will the LLM will process this into a form and gets you back with a CSV file of data, probably enriched if you want. And number two is a sales navigator scrapper, which is you make a search on your sales navigator, pick up the URL, feed it into this tool. It'll go back and give you a list of names from that search. Uh, and third would be a direct manual search form where you can go in, typically fill up details exactly like how you would fill in Sales Navigator, and this will pull up data. The second step would be enrichment. Third step would be personalization. Fourth would be the campaign step, which I use multiple tools. But in general, this is my orchestration plan for all of my outreaches.
Okay. What about when you're scraping the emails? Because a lot of times Apollo, for me, because I use Apollo too. What do you like? What's your percentages on those?
I mean, I use my own waterfall method. I generally don't go for clay for enrichment. So between contact outs, I use SalesQuell at the top because that's probably gives me the cheapest buck for the dollar. So SalesQuell, contact out, and then Apollo. And then I if it doesn't work, then I go to clay and see if it gives me a result. A lot of times, let's put it this way, right? There is a certain limit of how much outreach can be physically achieved. I don't do like I don't do the sales quota levels of like 10 mailboxes rotating every day, sending out 30 email. I don't have to hit that kind of a volume. Mine is somewhere in the region of 100 to 150 mails a day. Um, and at this point of time, my enrichment volume is much higher than that. So I'm okay to have a few failures. If I don't get the right emails for some of the contacts, I let it slip. I continue pursuing them on LinkedIn, but I don't sweat. There's plenty of fish. I mean, I am not too bothered about if I don't get a particular email. I prefer company emails. If I don't get it, I skip and go past the rest of them. I have enough uh, emails and lead list compared to the infrastructure that much of mail I can send. Um, so yeah, I don't care about those.
Yeah. Where are you getting better results on email or LinkedIn automation?
What was the question again?
Are you getting better results from email or LinkedIn automation?
100% LinkedIn automation. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no question about, at best, you're fighting the email battle against the email service providers, against the spam filters, your inboxes. To even get your ICP or your contact to look at your email, it's a big deal. Now, compared to the automation, what LinkedIn gives you, regardless of how bad it is. Today I made a post about stinking LinkedIn's jobs, but regardless of that, LinkedIn gives you a real estate space on the customer's inbox. which is guaranteed, and that's not a crowded space. On any particular day, I don't see anyone getting more than 10 or 15 emails. If you can grab someone's attention within that space, that is golden, right? At that point, it comes to a point whether your messaging is good, whether you're pitching it the right way, whether you're putting the right call to actions for your customer. So yeah, the apple to apple comparison on outreach in email versus anything on LinkedIn, whether it be sending a connect request or email in any other way, LinkedIn would probably be like 15x or 20x for me um, on a day-to-day campaign cycle.
I agree. What about for you, Zach?
Actually, I just had a quick question. So, you obviously mentioned a bunch of different tools, but which automation do you use? Like LinkedIn automation tool? Did you say?
HeyReach.
Yeah.
HeyReach. Okay. Um, I've
I
used
also have a few other, but HeyReach works in a way where there are tools which give you an option where you can use some kind of LinkedIn automation plus email automation. That's tools like La Growth Machine and a few other. But what HeyReach does is it gives you vertical, which means on one campaign you can add multiple people, multiple prospectors from your company or from your client's company. So that way you are able to distribute load evenly among a team of 10 people or 20 sales reps. So that is where HeyReach has like the one up over others. I think Dripify does the same as well. But I have connection with the founders of HeyReach, and they've been kind enough to give me some licenses, and that's where it has worked. I'm able to stack up multiple prospectors, whether recruiters or sales reps, against one campaign list. And that gives you a little bit of more spectrum to target and
Mhm. Yeah. I used to use Dripify, and I thought it was pretty good, but I haven't used it in a while. And like I do remember when I used Dripify, I would get a lot of more conversations going. Not necessarily always a brand new job order, but yeah. So I'll take a look at HeyReach, and maybe there'll be something. And like how much do you spend a month on it? Is it like a yearly or?
I have an agency license, so between me and my users, we have about 600 accounts. So
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm
Got
one
it.
of the biggest HeyReach users. I'm one of the early adopters of HeyReach.
Okay. So you can get us a discount. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but again, I would say the LinkedIn campaigning model, uh, you got to have a mindset of what we are actually trying to do, right? Compared to a phone call or an email on LinkedIn, the worst thing that could happen for you on your outreach is getting ignored. You send out a connect request or a message. If somebody chooses not to respond to you, that is a problem. So on LinkedIn, my only objective for any kind of my campaign would be is to solicit a reply. If it's a no, it's absolutely fine. A yes, even better. But an ignore, it's a problem. So all my CTAs, whether it's be ending my email or a connect request, I always end it in such a way whether I gamify the outreach or the question itself, where I prefer the customer to make an answer. And you know what? LinkedIn themselves give you a help. They give you an option to reply yes or no, things like that. So if you're not able to get that reply even, so that means you're getting ignored big time. So my email copies, sales copies, email copies always focuses on getting a reply. I don't care about sale. I don't talk about conversion engagement. All that is secondary. I just want the customer to send me a reply, and that's it. That's a win for me, and that's exactly what LinkedIn expects from you as well. They give you the credit back to you. So yeah, my metrics is always based around
Mm-hmm.
replies. That's it. I'm
So
a
like
win.
so what's like a cadence for you? Like what's a messaging in cadence if you're gonna outreach to somebody on LinkedIn?
Personalize on the subject line, gamify with a question on a pain point, and then go about uh, giving an outline of a solution, and then end it with saying, connect with me, and then let's discuss about it. I do not I do not sell my product. I do not sell my feature. I do not sell my offering. I purely focus on the pain point, gamify the pain point, elicit a reply for that solution. So that'll be my, I would say, template. I try to play around with that in different ways. I have ABC copies, and I see which one is winning. But I would say if you ask me for my game plan, this will be my game plan.
Mm-hmm. So when you say gamify, like, can you give an example? Like,
Sure.
what does that sound like for you?
I was hiring product managers for a large streaming platform. My subject line for for that particular job would be, how many product managers does it take to change a light bulb?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'll be my subject line, right? And then I go about, talking a couple of things about, like, how product managers' jobs are difficult and how to find things like that. At the end, I say the answer is one. If you want to know why don't you just message me? And a lot of times people reply saying that, hey, I'm not looking for a job, but I'm curious. Why do you say why? One. And then I would go about like giving some funny answer from there on. So that is one way of gamifying, right? There was a time, I mean, it's all about contextual. I was
Mm.
hiring web developers, and people who are familiar with the world of web understand the 404 error, which is like page not available.
Mm-hmm.
So I send a message saying that I searched for your name and I found a 404 error, something like that, right? And people they connect with that. I say, okay, hey, this guy as a recruiter understands something about technology. He's talking about things that I can relate to. So there has to be a common point in the Venn diagram where people relate to you. So that is where what I call as gamifying. Right? It's the same vanilla message. You just tweak it up a little bit so that you get that extra wow factor compared to everybody else. That's exactly all you need to win at that point.
Right.
Yeah, you're having fun with it, and you also understand like the world that whoever you're reaching out to lives in. So yeah, makes sense. Cool.
And not
Thanks.
that I know it inherently, but I do my research. If I'm
Yeah,
stepping into it, these days with like all chat GPTs and perplexities, it takes like 15 minutes for you to become a subject matter expert, at least to talk. Forget about
mhm.
working on that. So, and that's it's not too bad, too much to ask.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
I like that. That's spot on. Yeah. It's something different. Everybody sending the same message. I can help you fill this role. I never do that personally, but I know so many recruiters that's like, yeah, I can help you fill this role. Yeah, so can every 95 other recruiters that are messaging them right behind you. You know what I mean? I hate that messaging. What about NPCs? Do you do any NPC work, Prasaath?
No, I did it much early in my career, but it's a different kind of NPC that I used to do. But um, I would say in the past 10 years of my recruiting career, I didn't have to do NPC. I was mainly a procurement recruiter than a selling recruiter. So most of the time, I was the one who was hiring people from other places. So my objective has always been attract the job seeker,
Mm-hmm.
or the hiring manager space, what I'm already a vendor with. So get their attention. I didn't really have to get into the NPC space much, but I'm aware of how it works. I did a different version of NPC early on in my career. It's a very interesting space, but I didn't really get to play much in that space.
Cool. Barry, you got a question?
You asking me?
No, I don't think. What was
No.
the name of that program that you used for the LinkedIn messaging?
Hey, Reach. Hey,
Thank you.
Reach.
That was it.
Yeah.
Heyreach.io.
Brad, you got any?
I got a question.
No.
I believe you said it's about 8 touch points before you get a response. Can you break that down and being like, yeah, it's 3 LinkedIn pings, 1 hitting their social network, 4 emails or whatever the case?
Sure. Obviously, the 8 is I would say the big stretch of what we do, but it starts with view the profile, like a post, follow email number 1, drip campaign. I mean, all of this is in a sequence where it's a no, no, no. Like you view this person's profile and they don't view it back. You send them you start liking their post. They don't view your profile again. You send them email number 1, send them a follow on LinkedIn. If they don't respond to that, send them another follow-up email number 2, and then send them a connect request, follow and then connect request. they don't respond to that, send a third email saying that, hey, I tried reaching you. This is that should be the final saying that, hey, I'm done. And finally, they don't respond to that, send them an email. So that'll be this thing. So 5 touch points on LinkedIn, 3 emails.
Okay, right on.
Right. So once
Thank
they
you.
connect, obviously, it's a different plan altogether, right? Once they connect with you, once they respond back to you, then it's an engagement cycle. I don't call that as a prospecting cycle. So from there on, I have a different plan on how I take exchanging niceties to start talking business.
Yeah.
But again, as I said, my expectation out of an 8 touch point cycle is to get them to reply or connect with you one way or the other. That's a win for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, even though there's one client I had where it was 8 messages on LinkedIn, no response. The 9th one, I got it. But I was super aggressive. I was like, hey, you're either going to work with me or I'm going to steal all your talent and send them to your direct competitor who I already recruit for.
Nice.
Some people won't go that route, but you know what? I don't care. I will. It's either you're going to work with them or not. So who cares?
I don't have to do it at that level, but I understand where you're coming from. When you're all in on your game, what is the point of folding at that point? Just go in. So that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in my niche, the space that I want, right? That's the company I wanted. And I ended up getting them. But, like I knew there were pain points inside and out. I knew what they were looking for. I had the people ready. You never could for their direct competitors. So, it just depends on what industry you're in, who you're targeting, what level.
Yeah, that's
The
my
whole
question,
point
right?
is,
When you say who you're targeting, a message like that, where you give a body blow to saying that, hey, whether you work with me or I'll be working with your competitor. Would you send that to somebody who's at middle management, or would you send it to a
I go
CFO?
straight to the top,
The
CEO,
top. Okay, got it.
right to the top. And every time I always start at the top because there's nothing better than when the top, if you try to reach out to the head of talent or whatever, they'll probably try to blow you off, right? But if you go to the top and then they push you in, hey, you meet the head of talent, here's Dominic and Lazio, they're going to respond immediately, right? Especially if they're CEOs on the email. That's what I found to be the best. But for me, it's.
Would you recommend for myself acting as my own recruiter? Would you recommend me starting at the top, CEO, president, CFO, or should I go in to more of a reasonable level? Because I'm with you on the same approach. Start at the top and work your way down instead of going bottom up.
To find a role, to get into a role, if you're looking, I would start with if you're looking for a sales role, start with maybe the VP, depending on the size of the company. Start with the VP of sales maybe, and then go up, right? Because that's who you're gonna end up meeting with anyways, one of them. But if you can.
You're in the market, Brad?
What's that?
In the market, job market?
I am in the job market right now. Yeah.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
What are you looking to do, Brad?
I'm looking to get into either e-com, transportation, logistics, either as a operations service manager or account executive, where it'd be more of a hybrid role, more focused on service than sales. I have diverse background with fleet, automotive, and e-com, so I'm trying to stay in that space. Generally, those are the titles that I'm looking for: director of operations, director of customer service, service operations manager.
Well, you got a great e-com recruiter right here.
Which one, Brent?
Zach. Zach.
Yeah, I specialize in the e-commerce space. I work with a lot of direct to consumer brands. So I do a lot of marketing positions. But yeah, we should definitely connect. Outside on LinkedIn, and yeah, I can see if there's any companies that I know of that need more operational types of positions. But yeah, let's connect on LinkedIn.
All right, will do. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Cool.
What do you do?
Same with me as well, Zach. And I'm looking for go-to-market positions in teams. I don't want to leave an opportunity where I cannot sell myself.
Yeah. I'm gonna put my LinkedIn on the chat here.
Yeah, and I'd love to know what Brent does and Barry does. I mean, obviously this is the first time for me. So if they don't mind, and if you
go ahead, Brent.
Dominic.
Oh no, that's what it's all about.
Myself, I recruit in the technical space out of Seattle. All my networks here in Seattle. I wouldn't mind going more national if it meant more money at the end of the year, but I don't know if I can really be that wide. I'm a solo guy. I don't want to work 12-hour days. I want to work more about 6-hour days just because my kids are 11 and 12. And it's like, I realize that I've got a limited time before they're off to college. So it's like, okay, just when they're in school, I'll work. So I don't need a whole lot, but yeah, this is me.
Like, does tech mean like what? Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing's of the world, or different?
Right now, I'm most likely I'd say the data center space, just because there's enough growth in that as a solo shop, I should be able to make it work. I've got a bunch of software engineering roles on that I'm trying to fill for a Series A startup in Seattle. But back when I was with the company, we were in Amazon. We did tech for J&J, digital, robotics and digital, like surgery, all that. And then 98% of the companies that we work with were small things that you'd never hear of, but they were fighting for people with the Amazons and the Microsoft. So that's, why they had to use us.
Sure. Let me know if you have any positions where you need a helping hand, and I'm happy to help.
Yeah, definitely. So you're on go-to-market. I signed up with Acquired.
That's like micro-SaaS acquisitions mostly.
No, I think he's
Acquired?
talking about
A different one.
he's talking about Harry.
Yeah, Harry. They're a clay agency out of England with mixed results. I put it on pause just because I had a bunch of roles come in, and it's just like, I couldn't do any new outbound, but with very limited results. But I've got some connections in the Philippines for some recruiters, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I want to try to grow this more and have some of those folks work my roles, which is great margins when you can do it. You can pay a Filipino recruiter, God, if you pay them $3,000 a month, they're happy as can be. And if they fill one role,
It's $4 an hour, Brent.
What's that?
The rate in Philippines is $4 an hour.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I paid.
I have about 7 or 8 VAs that I used to work with. So it's a big space. Philippines is probably the one country which probably has taken custody of all virtual assistant jobs. So yeah, the going rate is $4 to $5 an hour for any specialist. If you're even going at like data entry level work, it's $2 to $3 an hour. That's it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about doing that, but I don't know. At the same time, I want freedom. I want to be my own boss, and I don't want to have to manage other people, because literally people management, I think, blows. It's just like, fuck, do your work.
Yeah.
and it's just like, I was lucky because I had a great team, when at my old job, but at times, I'd get somebody that was horrible. It's like, I don't want to do that,
That's
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Brad, you already kind of went over what you do.
So I spent my career with Merchant Fleet, managing a portfolio of about 1,800 vehicles. I was the account manager, annual budget of $30 million, procurement, ordering trucks, vehicles, anything with wheels. Previously, I was with risk management firms where I had $750 million of insurable assets, large-scale industrial complexes, multi-family buildings. And I've been in the risk management and the transportation space for the last, 8-9 years. So that's where I'm best aligned with I'm fully licensed and insured too. So try to find my place that makes the most sense with my knowledge and with my expertise.
Barry?
Yeah, hey, so I started National Eye Care Recruiters a couple months ago. So I basically recruit for optometrists and ophthalmologists. about to close my first deal in Fort Myers, Florida here either this week or next week. So
Nice.
Good
really
stuff.
happy about that. Hopefully it goes
Congratulations.
through. Looks like it's going through. I just signed optometrist in Phoenix last week, looking for optometrists, and I just signed another client in North Carolina last week that's looking for 4 optometrists and 2 ophthalmologists. So good on the client side, trying to figure out how to find candidates. For the Phoenix one, I used Indeed. I actually found a couple candidates there. I'm using Get Sales, which is like LinkedIn automation plus email integration. So starting that, I use ListKit for emails, starting that on Monday. So you can pull email addresses, verified email addresses, and then they built out an entire email inbox software for me where I have 30 inboxes and I can do 3 sequence or 4 sequence emails. I can send out to 5,000 emails a month. Just looked into Loxo, so that looked really interesting. I'm going to try a free trial. Start a free trial on Monday. Start seeing if I can find candidates on there for the open positions that I have.
You said Loxo, the CRM?
Yeah, it's
The
like
ATS?
ATS, yeah.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty. I
Yeah.
would say Loxo is pretty good for posting your jobs or finding people.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a great tool. I use Loxo quite a bit.
So one
So do
thing about
I.
ListKit that's cool is you can search business to business. So I can find optometry and ophthalmology business owners. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking in the future, if I have like a candidate, I could run like an NPC campaign through that with emails to
True.
just business owners. And that way I'm not reaching out to people that are not business owners, you know what I'm saying? So that could be like a future NPC model.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the tech space with lead generation is evolving so fast, it's hard to keep up with it. And so
We were
like things
talking
are
about
changing. It's like,
earlier.
you know, like you just, I'm using Get Sales, you use HeyReach, and now I'm like, well, which one's better? Like, you know, there's Dripify, and it's just every day there's new things coming out. And so that's probably the hardest part is trying to stay up to date on all the new technology that's coming out.
That's true.
I had this conversation with Zach this morning and with Percy. It's just like what they're all coming at you. Just stick to what works, right? And then, but you gotta keep an eye out. That's why I like having these calls because somebody might be trying this, and I'm using this tool, and what works for you, and we'll see which one's the best.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what's
It's tough though.
what's a typical budget for like your agency or another similar agency? Like what's your monthly spend if you had to break
Huh,
it out per rep on the tech stack?
per rep.
If you had to break it
Uh,
down, if you had to get granular with it.
okay, so let's say Loxo or Loxo's $200 a month. LinkedIn Recruiter 500. Apollo, break that down. 1,700 divided by 12 is what? Uh, and then ChatGPT, $20 a month. Probably 1,000.
Per seat.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably maybe a little bit cheaper. I mean,
And most of
but
I mean, in your case, Dominic, are you a solopreneur or you have people working for you?
we have 10 total.
Huh.
So it gets expensive. That's why I was telling Zach earlier. I got to cut some of these tools out because the next thing you know, you sign up for them, then you forget to close them out, or you don't utilize all the, like just for me, for example, Loxo. If I used it to its fullest extent, it would be amazing. I just don't. Like, so I should have just got the basic package. But like I showed Barry on there, Loxo Source is unreal. From where it used to be 2 years ago to now. I don't know if you've seen it lately, Perceive. It's way better than it was a year ago,
Hmm.
2 years ago. Just on candidates we searched for in his space, there was more on there than there was on LinkedIn.
I would agree. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was shocked on that.
The only thing with locks is they really limit like your credits. Like they told me 250 credits a month, which is, you know, not a lot.
It used to
I
be
was wondering,
unlimited.
yeah, see, that would be nice. And then you can buy extra credits, but I was wondering if anybody else has any luck using Indeed or anybody else uses Indeed. It's pretty cheap. I mean, you can post jobs for like $5 a day if you're a recruiter.
For your roles, I mean, you got to think, would optometrists be on there applying on Indeed?
Yeah, it's been pretty good for me. I was wondering if anybody else has had luck with it.
I used to have great luck with it when I used to do like aerospace and all that. But now for what I do now, no, just because they get flooded with the same shit resume. Like somebody from Taco Bell will apply for enterprise sales rep. It's like I'm not going through all those. You know what I mean?
I mean,
And then that costs you money too.
the trick with job applications, as Dominic said, is it's not about getting the right talent. I would say it's not a process of selection. It's a process of elimination. You're sitting on 400, 500 resumes, and a bunch of them are anybody who could just apply. There's no qualification at that point, right? Anybody who has a link to your job are going to apply. I don't know if you have any kind of data point on it, but on an average, I have less than 10% candidates on the jobs that I've posted who are qualified for the job. I'd say people who match, like, say, 8 out of the 10 skills what I posted will be less than 10%. So I'm expecting a job posting to make my life easier, but it's only made it more difficult. I found the option of me going and hunting candidates myself to be probably more foolproof than candidates reaching me. So yeah, I've always preferred the hunting the job seeker for my own means.
I got you. Prasaath, does the Hey Reach have email integration, or is it only LinkedIn messaging?
They have webhooks, so we can connect it with Instantly or something to send emails, but natively they don't have email.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Do you like Hey Reach better than Dripify?
If you ask me, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Mainly for the cause. I would say functionally they are not too different. Operationally, I think they would give the same kind of results. But since I got it to a point where I have a sweet spot with the pricing, so I would say the payoff that way is much better. So I would be biased towards saying, hey, each worked better for me, but it could be different for different people.
Yeah. No, I met with them too. They're great people too. What's the CEO's name again?
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
So on the touch points, going back to that, you're saying 8. I'd say from what, because I have Dan Martell's coaching class right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got access 4 more weeks, so I'm recording all the videos on 5 laptops right now, just so I don't lose it. But yeah, 8 to 15 is what they're saying, and that's what I've said too before. I think that's standard. But if you're very niche down, you don't really have to do that. Like Barry, you can do probably a couple, 3, 4. It's your niche. There's not too many people that do ophthalmology recruiting that I know of.
Yeah.
It's a very niche.
I know a ton of recruiters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I post on Indeed, for example, this Phoenix job, I got 2 optometrists. Like, so both of those applied to me. It wasn't, I was like flooded with random people that were trying to apply for a doctor job. I think it might be different because you need a doctor's license. So it might be more specific. But yeah, it worked.
You can
I mean,
put
I found
questions up front
personally.
too.
Yeah, like personally when hiring for my own practice, I use Indeed. I had luck with it. So it's just another tool in the toolbox.
Yeah. And even I heard like these guys in my other office over here, they use Indeed resume database. I think it's like $130 a month, and they have good luck with it. And they do a lot of insurance roles and
What do you mean
stuff
by
like that.
LinkedIn resume database?
Indeed resume database.
Oh, you go search on Indeed and
Yeah.
but
So instead of posting,
how does the credit work for that? Like, isn't it like $1 for every view or something?
No, I think it's like 130. Hold on, I'll ask them.
Is this through Indeed or just through a different
Yeah.
social media?
Hey, Robert.
They charge like
How much is it Indeed
per view or something, or
cost you?
contact information or something.
Resume database. And how do they charge you? How many can you view?
You can view as many.
Okay. Okay. So it's $130 a month. You can view as many as you want, and then you can I think it's like 30 is what you can export out, I think is what he said. And
No,
I
but
don't
the,
know.
the question is if you want to find the contact information or send out a message, I think it costs like $1 credit for that. Like you can't see somebody's phone number or send them a message. You need a credit for that, and that credit is like $1 or $1.50, something like that.
I'm not
You can view.
sure. They use they had pretty good results with it.
But that's a good
But
thing, right?
yeah,
You're not gonna look at somebody's phone number unless you're sure about like that resume
right.
being a qualified resume. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I mean, it's not like a volume game at that point.
Yeah. But even still, like every time I think about that, I still go back to like, okay, well, maybe not yet, but eventually a lot of these people are going to figure out, hey, I can use AI to tailor my resume to make me look like I'm the best, let's just say civil engineer, whatever, right? So then you're going to waste their credit calling those people. I know a guy that does programmatic advertising for job boards and makes a killing off of it. We got to look into that percent. It's called yeah, let me find this. This guy, if we can figure this out, we can all make money real quick. Uh,
So what do you mean? He like bids on job
yeah.
like job board
So
listings?
it goes by clicks, right? So he'll like wake up and he's like, Dom, and there's one day I woke up, I had 200 grand. Like one day, I'm like, the guy played in the NHL. So that's how I got connected. Obviously, I'm a ex-hockey guy. But there's another guy that I know that does it too. And he does very well. He'll spend like, he's on a split job board, top echelon. And he'll spend 50, 60 grand a month on recruiting, on advertising, but he gets the ROI. It's called Job Goal. I don't know exactly what they do, how they do it. I was trying to dig deeper and he kind of wouldn't give it all out, but I'll be looking into it. Let's tell you that.
Do you say job goal?
Yeah, JOB. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Oh, let me stop recording. That one right there.
Okay, let's check it out.
Job goal. All right.
Oh, programmatic advertisement. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know a few products as well. I'm also exploring that. I don't know how they do it, but they post in over 100 platforms. Some of them
yeah,
are free, Indeed, LinkedIn, and all that. We talked about it, Dominic, a little bit. Like,
yeah. Well, and every time somebody clicks, they're getting it's pennies, but think about it when you got hundreds of job boards in different countries and everyone's clicking it, you just got money coming in left and right. And I got another call set up. I'm trying to dig deeper into it. But yeah, I would love to learn more about that. So if anyone knows anyone in that space, let me know.
Wait, so it's a job board that you host and manage. So you're managing the job
No,
board?
no, you're just I don't even know how to explain it.
it's called programmatic advertisement, which means
Yeah,
so like the whole thing works as an interlinked web link of jobs, and that's how Indeed actually came into picture. Indeed was never a native job board. They were a scavenger job board, which means they picked up jobs from every other job board and they started hosting it like more like a search engine for jobs. If you remember, they used to be calling themselves as Google for Jobs, until Google came up with their own Google for Jobs and told Indeed it's a copyright issue and they cannot use it. And until that moment, Google for Jobs came up on your search, Google search. You do a search of jobs, Indeed results would come on top. Now, if you do any search, Indeed results will not be there at all in any of the job search on Google, um, mainly because Indeed built their site as a way of like a search engine of jobs, and then they made it as a native platform where people post, and they made money by, let's say, if like that's basically like a web link of different links. Like I share your link, you share my link, so it's like a network of job boards sharing the links, and then they eventually distribute the cost of the money that they gain out of like the web traffic. um, so it's an interesting play. So
it's crazy.
if you take Indeed subscription directly and post a job, let's say it costs you 200 $300 month post, Instead, if you go through a programmatic advertisement, which is run through an API, you'll be able to do it for free of cost.
Yeah. So with all these tech people that we have on this call, start talking to some of your tech people. We can figure this out, guys, and we can all make money. I'm not kidding you. This guy, he played in the NHL, and that's how I got connected with him through a guy I met at a wedding. He's like, Don, meet this guy. He's an ex-NHL player. He owns a recruiting firm. But then he also had this, and he was telling me about all this money he made. It's pennies every time somebody clicks. But you think about it, you're on thousands of job boards in every country. That adds up real quick. The next thing you know, like I think he's going to basically sell his recruiting firm. That's how well he's doing on that side of it. Especially with AI tailored resumes and websites like lazyapply.com, where you can apply to 1,000 jobs at once.
Yeah, lazy
Which is a
apply,
joke.
simplify, all that. Yeah.
Joke. You know. You ever seen you know that one? Lazyapply.com?
Yeah. I've used it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
And at this point, they are like mainstream players. Lazy Apply has been there in the picture way before AI came into the picture. It has been like 7-8 years now. They even had like an AppSumo lifetime deal a while back. Like you can pick it up and you can have, I think, $79 lifetime. You know, that's it. You can start spamming all the recruiters.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And
yeah, why does the recruiter have the pleasure of spamming everybody? Let's spam them back.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. I've got to jump. I've got a 10 o'clock I need to prepare for. But Brad and Prasaath, you guys want to throw your LinkedIn contact in the chat? And we can connect.
Let's figure out this programmatic advertising.
And I have a few more suggestions there if you for that, Dominic, if you want. I have a few more that I know. Yeah.
Let's stay on.
Right on. Well, I hope you all have a great week. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Brad. Happy New Year.
And love those Buckeyes destroying the dock.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Buckeyes.
What a game, guys. Wow.
There's a picture in the background.
Told you.
Yeah.
Right on. Take care.
I'll see you, Brad. See you. What other ones are you talking about, Prasaath?
I mean, I have a bunch of other programmatic advertising tools. They run on API, so I think up to 100, 300 posts you can make. I don't think you can make money out of it, but at least you'll be able to post close to 100 jobs for peanuts, like $3 a job post or something like that. I have a few in my
yeah. There's a
list
few that I just gotta find it. There's a few that I know about too that I don't.
I know there is a
Let's see.
An ATS called CPAL. Has anybody heard about it?
Yeah.
CPAL. So CPAL is not very expensive. I mean, it costs, if I remember last, it costs $25 a month per seat. And they give you this option to post jobs on LinkedIn and 100 other job boards that comes as part of your package. I guess Loxo does the same thing as well. I mean, Loxo used to post your job. I used to have a free account on Loxo. I never paid a dime. On Loxo, I used to have my jobs getting posted through my company's account without me having to spend any money. So I guess all of them must be using some kind of a tool on the back end like this. I have a few tools I have, and I'll probably pick it up from my list and send it over to you, Dominic, sometime.
Yeah, I have them too. I just got to find where I wrote them. Yeah. Every time I come up with a new tool, it's right here.
Oh my God, you're an old-fashioned guy, right? Write everything down.
I have to. I started using the iPad Mini because these guys all use it here. They're like, "Don, you gotta start using it." But I like writing it down.
Oh, nice. I'm like 50-50. I'm an early adopter of technology as well as writing down.
Now I got this little mini iPad. I got Nebullo, so it coordinates all the way through.
Oh, nice.
Hey guys, I gotta
jump too.
Sure, buddy.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Nice time.
Real quick, Zach and Dominic. So if I'm acting as my own recruiter with all these tools, I'm already spending on Apollo, 129, various other tools. I'm already in for me personally, I'm in it for probably like $350, $400 a month. How can I have a bigger impact reaching these recruiters or top C-suite officials or executives to get in front of to hopefully land an interview? Because I'm
You
battling
said
it.
you've been in business development, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So take it like recruiting is doing BD and recruiting is the same thing as business development. It's just call them, follow up, send a message, find a way to provide value, know their pain points inside and out. But I mean, you got all those tools. Reach out to them, call, set up the cadence, like Zach was saying
I have an
earlier.
Apollo cadence without phone calls though.
But are you landing in spam? Right? Like, is it coming from your personal email?
No, I have a Brad workflow at Gmail, so it looks like a corporate email almost.
But it's Gmail.
Yeah.
Yeah. You used to have your old domain set up from your company.
I do still have that, yeah.
Maybe try it with that.
From the shoot.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
See if that changes. But I would go straight to the whatever type of role you're looking for. Go right to that leader of that division, depending on the size of the company, or go straight to the top.
Okay. I have the SaaS
Yeah.
subway. I've been checking that almost daily.
Oh, that thing's great.
There's I don't know if you know this, but within Apollo, depending on what level you have, so within Apollo, you can check to see companies that are hiring for certain roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But show me how you do it on your end. Let me pull this
Sure.
out.